What is poppin' YouTube? I'm back again. Old Man Wonder. We are really getting it done today. And I'm gonna watch this one. Because I'm just in that stock market mood. Like it's I'm gonna be reacting to stuff that I enjoy. Well, to be fair, I'm gonna be reacting to stuff I don't enjoy at the same time. But yeah, I'm always gonna be reacting to stuff and like people's comments on stocks, that sort of thing. And this guy, Zip Trader, I did another one not that long ago. Um, when he was looking at quantum computing. Now he's got another $5 stock, and I'm loving $5 stocks because they truly do have the potential to change your life. So let's see.
Judge. Folks, I believe this $5 stock is screaming buy.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Quick.
I believe if you come back to this video in 6 months, a year from now, especially 2
Add that to my diary.
years from now, you're going to be looking back and you're going to be kicking yourself if you didn't buy this stock. In today's video, we're going to break down 4 things. Number 1, why drone stocks are starting to reignite.
Drones. Is this why it's going to be drones? I don't know why, but maybe because I'm not a professional and I'm not very diversified, but there's certain stocks that I'm just like, meh. But then if it's going to blow up, who cares what stock it is, right? I mean, that's like pretty much the attitude.
Number 2, how far I anticipate the SpaceX associated stocks like MNTS and RDW will rally before. Also, quick plug, our 50% off. Make sure that you're happy.
Shut up.
Okay, let's start with UMAC Unusual Machines. Oof, at the time of filming this video, domestic drone maker UMAC is up about 95%.
95%. God damn it. But to be fair, like I got some stocks that are up about 95%. So, can't complain. Can't complain. Just you got to chuck more money in. With this market, this bull market, it just doesn't really seem to matter what stock you put the money in, to be honest. Well, there's a few like retail and garbage stocks, but like any popular stock, it's not difficult to find the popular one. But some will just do it like 5 times faster.
Just in the past month alone, with about half of that happening today. Why is it running? Well, because of a report that came out from the Wall Street Journal saying that the Pentagon is in talks to aggressively back and take stakes in the
Anything the US like funds, the government funds, is gonna blow, basically.
sector.
Like it's not that complicated. Stocks are not that complicated.
And it's specifically named the Mac of the U. Okay, context here, I gotta catch you up. So back in late October, Mustache Charlie explained that the Trump affiliated UMAC won an early and key Pentagon contract. Mustache.
But it's just how far does it go? Like I guess drones is like gonna be insane. Okay, I don't have like huge knowledge on drones. Not gonna lie. Um, what will the United States government spend on drones in the next 10 years? It's not like they're going to be droning people in the United States, right? It's going to be droning people outside, or they're just there for the sake of it, or they sell it to like the Ukraine or whoever the hell. The best current estimate is 500 to 600 billion drones, $1 billion on drones and autonomous systems over the next 10 years. That is a lot of billion, yo. That is a lot of zeros. So, this company, what was it even called again? That's how little I know about this company. Unusual Machines Inc. God, let's have a look at Machines Inc. So I'm recording this as of 29th of May. It's going to be a bit delayed by the time it comes out, but at the minute it's at $30. $30. So 1 month chart. So yeah, it was at $13 like this month, May. Not even that long ago. It was like May 19th, 20th. Holy hell, yo. But then how far is it gonna go? The question we all wanna know. And after a big run up like this, you're thinking, is it gonna keep going up? I don't know. I don't know. Is there any news on this? Zach's investment ideas feature highlights. ON Ondas. Unusual Machines, Palantir. Well, do you want to fund the war? Not really.
Just in the past month alone, with about half of that happening today. Why is it running? Well, because of a report that came out from the Wall Street Journal saying that the Pentagon is in talks to aggressively back and take stakes.
Yeah, we saw that.
You're going to regret not buying it. And then a couple of weeks later, the stock almost doubled to $21. And Flannel Charlie said, look, the trend is this company is making itself more and more critical to the domestic drone apparatus. Flannel Charlie even broke down the timeline and explained that when you pair together the Iran conflict's usage of drones and the Trump admin's backing of domestic industries that they deem as critical to national security, well, it's hard to imagine UMAC not continuing to trade overall much, much higher. Well, now it's May 28th and New York Charlie's looking at this stock and he's like, oof. So anyways, a big, strong congratulations.
Oof. It's just finding this information early. That's what you want. And you also need money. That's half the problem.
Congratulations to folks that played this and got a big gain. This is another example of doing the research, looking at the facts, and
you know, people are just like, buy this stock, buy this stock, buy this stock. Meanwhile, you're trying to bust your gut at a job that doesn't pay enough. And then you got to pay for your food, your bills, and everything. And then you're left with like, what, a couple of £100. You just got to keep sticking it in if you can.
being patient. So anyways, Charlie, what's coming next for UMAC? Well, keep in mind that UMAC was the only publicly traded stock named directly in this Wall Street Journal story. The indirect names that are riding the theme, though, are AVAV, KTOS, and ONDS. And so I want you to understand this pattern. This is a pattern that's tried and true. I emailed this pattern out to members.
ONDS is drones as well. ONDS. What we got? Ooh, ONDS is only at $12.96. Looks better than the other one, eh? Better than $30, but you got to do a bit of research into it, like how many shares are outstanding and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, worth thinking about. But I've never bought any military stock. I'm just like I'm part of the crowd. I'm part of the AI crowd, folks.
This morning about an hour before market open. And here's how the pattern goes. First, the named stock gets the violent move. When a company is specifically called out in a report like this, that's where the buying concentrates, which is exactly why UMAC is the one gapping 26% plus rather than the others. Of course, it was up over 50% later on in the session, but when I wrote this, it was only up 26%. The smaller the company and the bigger the headline relative to its size, the sharper the spike. A microcap drone parts maker getting tied to direct federal funding is a textbook setup for an outsized pre-market pop.
Well, you got to start watching these American bloody announcements, which is something I also don't do in the future.
Second, the move spreads outward by association. Traders can't buy the private names, so money rotates into the next closest thing, the broader publicly traded drone basket, AVAV, KTOS, ONDS. These tend to move less and later than the name stock because they're riding sentiment and read-through, not actual confirmed money. It's just wait a little bit because the sell the news cycle is going to happen again. Okay, next we got to talk about the space sector. So as you know, our space ideas have been going.
We've already gone through space. You know, I've had enough of space. It doesn't even make sense. Like, they're not making money. Not yet, anyway. I mean, they may do in the future.
Earnings came out yesterday, and I would say they flipped the finger to anybody Okay, next we got to talk about Salesforce CRM. So CRM, in my opinion, is one of the most obvious blue chip value buys in today's market, and I don't think it's particularly close. Earnings came out yesterday, and I would say they flipped the finger to anybody believing that their software business was going to collapse. In fact, the thing that was supposedly going to kill this company is
Anyway, yeah. I mean, due to my limited resources, what I have done today, I have purchased SMCI. Anyway, I'm AI. I'm just ignoring all this guy's advice. And I purchased at this price, well, slightly more actually. It's already going down, so um I was at about 45 something. But I think SMCI is a good stock to buy. They're obviously into AI chips. They had this big deal, like SMCI deal. I wonder if it's on Yahoo Finance. Nothing at all. Well, Copilot will do it. SMCI deal with Europe. It's not. I don't even think it's a deal. I think it's more like legislation allowing them to get in. So yeah, SMCI has major new deal in Europe, centered on supplying NVIDIA accelerated AI infrastructure to Verda, a European AI cloud provider. So these are just like the sort of stuff I ask AI. Like imagine before AI, like the questions that you'd have to figure out yourself, like actually doing math. Let's just hope Copilot's not screwing you. You know what I mean? It's quite possible. So even then, you need to look into who can really be bothered. Once you've seen the news release, you make a decision. How will this impact the revenue? Lift SMCI's revenue trajectory, but not large enough on its own to redefine the company. The impact is positive, multi-year, and margin accretive. Multi-year revenue stream. Look, I think SMCI is quite undervalued anyway due to some legal issues. Search, Copilot, search. You can do this. Oh, anytime now. I'm gonna stop. This is bugging out. SMCI. Uh, is currently facing multiple serious legal and regulatory issues, all tied to alleged export control violations. Um, but is it so? SMCI. This is the bit you want to look at. SMCI itself is not named as the defendant, but the individuals. So I think the company's safe. I think that's why it took a big hit. And like I've said it before, they had some earnings too. But it was blowing up. Like it's already been to $60 and it's at 44 at the minute. You look at companies like AMD and Nvidia, I think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a few shares. Like a lot of them, like the space ones he was talking about, like the defense stock, they're worth a few shares. 100%. If you can diversify, I'm kind of thinking give it a go. Right. Anyway, I'm gonna get myself out of here. I got whole lot of stuff to do. Whole lot of stuff to do. So, peace out, yo. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Au revoir. Goodbye.